Buenos dias, Gunners Collective TV. Back at it, you already know. Like a torta with some bad habits. Bye up, bye up. Let's get to the intro. Welcome back to Gunners Collective TV. And if you haven't already hit that like and subscribe button, make sure you go ahead and do that. So that way you're directing the direction of the dope content that the gun stays kicking. I appreciate the support, man. I'm very humbled by it. Thank you. So let's talk about Flaco from a Convicts perspective. Big Flaco, right? I seen a video that was done yesterday by the homie Hangout. Make sure that you guys go tap into the homie Hangout, show him some support. You know, he's back on the scene, crispy and clean. He's doing what he does. And got a lot of respect for that man. So go support him. Go show him, and tell him Gun sent you. Tell him Gun sent you. He did a video on it. And so this is inspired by his video on Flaco. You know, I won't say forgot about Flaco, but time moves on, right? The man caught 15 years. However much of that he's going to do in the Arizona system is totally up to the way he acts while incarcerated, right? So it's not that you forget about someone, it's that you forgive and forget and move on. You know, he made his place, his spot in life, whether it's in prison or out of prison. And I wished him the best, sent him a little bit of bread, you know, what I felt I could do, and did more than a lot of others for him, you know. And me and Flaco we went from being friends to foes, back to friends to foes, to one never knows, you know, does one. But I seen a video that was done by Rascal, and I heard the same whispers, you know, that Flaco had finally checked into protective custody. Now, I'm going to be totally honest with you. I'm not happy about it. It's not, oh, man, I want to rub it in his face. I figured that was going to happen day one, man. I figured that was probably the best route for him to take because of his situation, right? Because of his past and where he wants to go in his present. Now, when Flaco first got incarcerated for this case, I kind of leaned back and watched it unfold. I watched people talk about it, watched people get all in his business, and didn't really speak too much on it because I didn't want to influence, you know, one way or the other what I didn't know about the case. Come to find out, Flaco shot a couple people, and, you know, unfortunately, he found himself in that type of situation. Now, I was privy to a lot more than a lot of people because of my willings and dealings with the Convicts perspective. You know, I became good friends with them two individuals, Flaco and Rojo. I still got a lot of respect for Rojo, man. Still got a lot of love for Rojo. You know, if he doesn't feel the same way, that's on him. But I chose to go a different route in life because I didn't feel that the attention that I was getting was good for everybody, right? So I moved on and did my own thing in life. They did their own thing, him and Flaco ended up in prison. But I seen it coming, right? I seen it coming, man. When Flaco used to call me, even when we were at the point where he hated my guts and I didn't care for him, he would still call me every once in a while. And it was like more of a cry for help without asking for help. Just like, and I would give him the same advice I would always give him, like, bro, you need to pack up and go back to California and start your life back over there. Cause you know, the situation you're in right now, it's just getting worse and worse. And we all seen it happening. We all seen the substance abuse, the alcoholism take control. We all seen these bad things start to happen in Flaco's life. And I was able to center it to one particular incident, one particular situation, which is his own business, right? But whatever, you know, he ends up catching his time and now he's in jail. Now, I've expressed to you guys, doesn't matter if you're in protective custody, doesn't matter if you're on the main line, none of that matters. You're in prison, you're doing time. Time is time. Time's rough no matter where you're at. Now, a lot of people look at the situation and they want to make, you know, jest of it or laugh at it. That vato, he's fucking big. He's not good for nothing. He's all this and that, but he's over there. Look, what do you expect? Did you expect anything different? Is it a breaking news situation or a big deal if Flaco checks in to protect your custody? He has to worry about his life. He has to worry about his children. He has to worry about his family. He has to worry about getting through time. He's the one doing the time. You're not doing it with them. So whatever the case is, whatever the case. Now, I know in the gang life, the street life, the criminal world, that's a big no-no. People look at it at that a different way. But we're talking about people that don't know this man personally, people that don't care one way about him either way, but just want to talk shit. That's a fucked up situation, man. But I'll say this about Flaco. I've met him in real life. His past, whatever he was involved in, whatever he did, is definitely going to come back to haunt him. It does to everybody. Okay, if you've ever been involved at a certain level and you aspired to be something and you didn't quite make it, people are going to make fun of that. They're going to laugh at that. They're going to disrespect because of that. I don't. It is what it is. It takes a whole different element or level of man to even achieve what someone like Flaco did. You got to respect it, right? If you live that life. So I see a video that Flaco puts out. And is he trying to justify why he went to protective custody or why he's checking in? Lightweight. That's the pride in a man. A man's going to always tell you a story on why, you're worse than he is. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. It's not a big issue, man. It's something that, because of Flaco's past, I definitely thought would happen sooner. I've never been in the Arizona system. I don't know how it is. From what I heard, where Flaco was being housed in general population, because he was in GP for over 10 months in prison, it was probably considered a softer yard in comparison to a California prison yard. Now, in Flaco's video, and I don't want to focus too much on the Flaco situation because it's not a big deal. He went to protected custody, so what? He's going to do whatever he has to do to be safe and get out. That's his story, right? But I wanted to focus on something that he said in his video. He was trying to get a hardship. He was trying to figure out some way, somehow, how to get back to the state of California to an SNY yard to do time. Now, I recall definitely many times where Flaco did videos where he said even in talking to me or talking about someone else, he was like, I've never been on an SNY yard. I never checked in. I never went PC. I never did this. Like I don't want to say boasted and bragged on that point, but that was one of his staples. Like, I ain't never been there. I paroled GP. We all know that whatever Flaco got into happened on the streets and not while incarcerated. But his whole get down was, I'm still good. In his mind, he was still good because he never checked in. He never went to a bad yard. So now he's in the state of Arizona requesting for a hardship to be transferred back to the state of California. And guess what yard he'll go to? An SNY yard. And of course he says, with all the YouTube shenanigans and shit that's going on, all the videos that he made, of course, people that do YouTube videos, especially when they speak on prison politics or prison in general, man, are going to be targets. You're going to be looked at a different way. People feel like, hey, you shouldn't be speaking on certain things. Maybe some people say a little too much. Maybe some people don't. But in any case, man, that's got to be in the back of your mind. Like, what did I ever say that a man could take his disrespect? Now, with Flaco, say if Flaco does get a hardship, right? And there's only a few ways to get a hardship, period. And in the state of California, it's 1 for 1. So usually, because they don't want to lose the income they get paid from the government for a person, it's like $100,000 per person. So in order for Flaco to go from Arizona to California, or you got to have a guy from Arizona in California wanting to go back, it's 1 for 1. It's a 1 for 1 trade. It used to be like that. Now, I'm not too sure. There's only a few ways to get a hardship. If you have an ailing family member who's sick, like an immediate family member, mother, father, brother, or sister, you could use that as a hardship to possibly get a transfer. It's called an interstate compact, right? If, there's a danger or a threat to your safety and security, a definite danger where you've already been blasted, they know, the administration knows anytime they put you on a yard, it's going to go down. That could be grounds. And also, a situation in Flaco's case where, he's further from home than most. Now, don't get it twisted. That right there, they don't really care about. You got guys that are from California that go to the feds and they end up in New York or they end up in Philadelphia or Texas or wherever. So, and that right there, that's not really a hardship, but that is grounds for a hardship. Now, whether Flaco will get transpacked and be shipped back to California, I don't understand why he would even do that. You're already in Arizona. You're doing your time. It doesn't matter if you're on a PC yard or a general population yard. It is what it is, right? Do your time. That's on you. But to want to go back to California, right now, the SNY yards are the most dangerous yards in California in the system. You got what happened to Tory Lanez in Tehachapi from a pedophile. You got, or PDF, or however the fuck you want to say it, right? I just say what it is, right? You got riots. You got New Folsom on the fucking EOP yard shit going down, people getting whacked. You got the integration. You got those integrated yards. You got the yards like that Cain Velasquez is on, which is an integrated yard in Chole, right? He's in Soledad. So you have a lot of different things. So it doesn't necessarily mean that Flaco would immediately go to a SNY, legit SNY yard where it's a little bit safer than others. He might end up on one of those integrated yards. I don't know if his points, because he doesn't have a record for whatever reason, right? Besides what he has in Arizona. So he has no state of California record. So I don't know if his points would put him on a level 3 or level 4. It might put him on a level 2, right? Might put him on a level 2, and those are integrated yards, man. That means there's dudes that are still active with the functions that because of Flaco's past and some of the things that have been said about him or whatever he was involved in, I'm not going to speak on it. It's already out there. It's not my business, right? But might feel some type of way. And just because you go to a SNY yard, that's the Wild Wild West. That's the youth authority, the YA for grown folks. Okay, it's like the Vegas. It's, you know how they say Disneyland's for the kids and Vegas is for the adults. It's like the Vegas of adults. You can go over there and there's nobody to answer to. You know, now Flaco's a big man. He's pretty big, right? That means it's going to take some blunt force to get at him. But there's a whole lot of forceful individuals. You know, people think, oh, the SNY yard's a bunch of PCs, bunch of punks, bunch of rats, bunch of Cheeto who's running around. But obviously, you can see some of them dudes will pick up iron and use it. Look what happened to Tory, right? I think Flaco's better off where he's at. He doesn't understand the situation, or maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't care. But the situation he can find himself in the state of California right now, it's in disarray. There's a lot of shit going on in that system. A lot of people being moved here and there. What's to say Flaco doesn't go to a yard where it's even way more dangerous than the situation he's in already right now? You know, I don't get it. You know, I wish the best for people in life in general. You know, people might think I'm a hater. You know, I've been told, like, when people get locked up or when certain individuals that you don't really rock with guns get locked up or anything happens, you're all happy. You do a video about it. I'm not necessarily happy. I'm just bringing you the news energetic. In Flaco's situation, I wasn't happy to hear he went to protected custody. In fact, I thought he'd been there. You know, I thought he'd been checked in. I seen that as, unfortunately, being the end game for him. It's going to happen. You know, when you make YouTube videos, you might not disrespect people, but people might take it as disrespect. Then the truth comes out or you're exposed or whatever happens. You know, just because you're not in your state or it doesn't affect them directly, still the prison mentality is anyone who was considered a snitch or anyone who has that type of background, they're not going to fuck with you. In fact, there's going to be dudes that are not going to walk the yard with you. They cannot. Because of their groups get down in their politics, they cannot function on the yard that you're on. Just the way it is, right? So, unfortunately, I knew there was going to be a situation where Flaco was going to be pressed and he was going to have to make a decision. Now, of course, in the little video he did on his channel, you know, he's not trying to justify it, but he's doing what any person would do and trying to go around what happened. Not give you guys the full details, but it doesn't really matter. The fact is, he's in a place now in a situation where he can move on with his life. If you're not gangbanging, if you're not trying to promote that, if you're not involved in that, then stop focusing on, you know, that and focus more so on being a better man and just doing your time where you're allowed to do your time. There's not a general population yard in the United States that's going to allow, you know, a person that has been alleged to have worn a wire or anything like that to function. So I was tripping out when in Arizona, man, he was allowed to be there. And I say allowed because that's on the guys that were there for not pressing. That's not on him. He did what he did, man. He stood on his shit. He went to the yard. You know, you can't no one take that away from him. Now, did it mean anything? No, that was 10 months wasted. 10 months more he could have focused without having to look over his shoulder on his future and his children and his family rather than look and worry about what your past catching up to you, because it's going to catch up. The past will always beat you in a race. That's some real knowledge you can't get in college. That's some game. Your past will always beat you in a race. You might think you outrunning it and you got it, but the past will creep up and the past by knows. The past will win, right? Now, in Flaco's situation, he talked about in his video that, to me, it seemed like he was kind of trying to direct it at other people, like things that they said about him on YouTube is what alerted the authorities to the fact that he was a content creator, some semi-famous YouTuber, right? And that's what put him in the situation he's in. No, I'm going to tell you what put you in the situation you're in, sir. What put you in the situation you're in is questionable acts that you've done in the past you go becoming a YouTuber and talking about what you talked about and your story getting put out there and some of the characteristics you displayed while doing it. Unfortunately, man, I never disliked Flaco, right? Even when we didn't see eye to eye, I never disliked him. I just was like, fuck, bro. I wish I could help that guy. There's only so much I could do. You know, you can't blame other people for what you've done, for your mistakes. You just got to ride. Just like you went on that yard, you stood on your shit. You got to, in life, stand on your shit. It's how it is. It's what the world is about, right? I'll tell you this much, though. He needs to stay where he's at. Stay put. Even if he's in a PC yard, so what? Who did not see that one coming? Come on, man. Stop it. Let that man do his thing. But when he's trying to justify, well, I never disrespected any of the SNY gangs, so if I go over there, I'll be cool. Who says so? Who says that they didn't take it as disrespect? I know there was plenty of times where Flaco was like, you know, hey, I ain't never been on an SNY yard. I'll never do that shit. I'll never parole like that. I'll never, you know, and then you want to go there all of a sudden. There's going to be guys that are there that remember that are like, hey, bro, what do you mean you were never on it? So what is that supposed to mean? So one thing about that is you don't understand the mentality of another man. You might think you never disrespected someone. They might take it as disrespect, period. You know, if Flaco wants to get out and really do well in life and leave the past behind him, he needs to stay running the race where you're at. You know, I understand you want to be closer to your family. Mentally, it helps you. You know, and I feel sorry for Flaco. He's way out there, you know, away from his family, but you chose to leave your family. You chose to leave, you know, your state. You chose to go somewhere else and create a life. And this was the life that you created, unfortunately, man. I'm trying to do this video with no disrespect because I don't want to get Flaco upset where he starts making videos and going crazy, man, because I'm not on that time. I'm on the time, man. I truly wish that fool was out doing his thing. You know, I'll never forget going to Rojo's pad, being in the backyard and seeing Rojo's daughter and son and Flaco's son playing on the little swing and having a good time. And we're back there barbecuing and just chopping game, right? Like I reminisce and go back to those times, the good times, when everybody was on the same page and cool. You know, I don't go back to the drama and the bullshit. That's always going to be there. I'm going to put it right here like Miklo in the back of my mind. It's always going to be there. But I don't elaborate or expand upon it because it's just not good mentally for anybody, right? I think about good shit. So Flaco, to me, man, I don't care what yard he's on. There's people that are making a big issue out of it. Oh, man, if it was a PC, he already was, bro. He already was. Maybe not on paper, but we all know it's no big deal. That's that word, that PC, that trash, that people need to get out of that. You were not locked up. Now, in Flaco's situation, he is locked up. He's going to have to deal with it. He's going to have to deal with it. But in other people's situation, myself, others, I ain't got to deal with that. People talk shit. I just turn it off and go fishing or go kick it. I don't care what you think about me. The people that I care about, they're never going to think that about me. You know, I made the necessary moves. You got cutthroat motherfuckers. I'll do anything to survive. I got to survive, man. You got to be on your own, survive. And then when they make their moves, like, oh, well, you can't do it like that. Who are you to say they can't do it the way they did it? They're going to do it however they get it. Get it how you get it. You know, I want to say Flaco, though, needs to really think about going to California and expanding upon that interstate compact because it's dangerous. It'd be more dangerous for him in California. Now, when he said, hey, the law enforcement watched the YouTube videos, they were bringing that up, and it's a dangerous situation for him. And yeah, what did you think? Everyone knew when they started to make content what it was, and that law enforcement watch. Perfect example is fucking No Jumper. Every single person that seems to be going on there is getting the case. You got fucking Brick Baby locked up. You got fucking 4X locked up. You got motherfucking what's his name? Loose Cannon locked up. Now all of a sudden, Almighty Suspect, he gets locked up. Like, man, you guys don't see it yet? Hey, it might not be Adam telling, man, but they're watching. They're watching. They watch all channels. They're watching this right now. What is Gun going to say? I'm not going to say nothing bad, no disrespect, because I don't want to get locked up. Shit, I'm just trying to chill and do me. I'm in my lane. As far as Flaco goes, so what? If Vato goes to protective custody, he goes to protective custody. I'm not tripping. The reason I'm doing this video is I've seen other videos that were made. Shout out to Rascal, man. He gave a very good perspective on it. Gave a very, he spoke on it righteously. And I want to say that. As far as Flaco goes, I don't know if you're going to see this video. Hopefully you see without the trolls or the people that fucking, oh, Gunner's talking shit. I'm not talking shit. I wish you the best, man. You know, but make the right decision. This is my last message for you, Flaco. Make the right decision. I'm telling you, fool, that you don't understand. The SNY yards are not like you think anymore. You're going to fuck around and go over there and get whacked. Be smooth. Be smart. Just do your time. Get out and go home to your family. That's it. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive, struggle, and strive for what I truly believe in. That's the betterment of all people, man. What do you guys think? Should Flaco stay put or should he come to California? There's going to be fools that hate him. They're like, hurry up. Kill him. Kill him. Damn, that's fucked.